Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Talking Ball podcast. I'm your host, Chase, and this is episode number 28. Getting up to the 30s. It's been fun. So, we're just going to hop right into it. It's mostly going to be NBA. I'm going to start with the Super Bowl, and I'll talk about that for as long as I feel the need to. So yeah, we're going to get right into it. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that. And yeah, here we go. So the Super Bowl obviously was played 2 days ago on Sunday. It was the Chiefs and the Bucks. Tom Brady leading the Bucks to their first Super Bowl since the early 2000s, and obviously Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. So let me see. So yeah, first Super Bowl since 2002. So yeah, early 2000s with John Gruden and that Buccaneers team. But yeah, now Tom Brady comes in and turns around this, basically very similar Buccaneers team. Obviously, there was a thing that every player that scored in the Super Bowl did not play for the Bucs last year. Tom Brady, of course. Gronk scored 2 touchdowns. Antonio Brown had a touchdown, and Leonard Fournette had a touchdown. And then Ryan Suckup wasn't even their kicker last year, who scored all their extra points and the field goal. So every person that scored in the Super Bowl for the Bucs were not on the Bucs last year, but the defense is still virtually the same. With Devin White, Shaq Barrett, I think Jason Pierre-Paul new. Can't remember. Let's see. So, obviously it was Jameis last year. They had Ronald Jones still, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. And as for the defense, so yeah, Pierre-Paul was there. Devin White was a rookie. Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Carlton Davis. Like pretty much everybody. They added Winfield Jr. They added Sean Murphy Bunting. Sean Murphy Bunting. And yeah, they just upgraded the defense and then super upgraded the offense with Antoine. The defense added Antoine Midfield, Sean Murphy Bunting, William Golston, who played well. And then they got the rookie Tristan Wirfs to help out the O-line. And yeah, their O-line is actually pretty nice. Ali Marpet and Ryan Jensen, really good. And then Tristan Wirfs, obviously, is going to be a good player. Obviously, adding Tom Brady, who, the funniest thing is, he had less stats than Jameis did. Like 4,600 yards. Jameis had 5,200 yards. Jameis also had 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Brady had 40 and 12. So, obviously, Brady was the upgrade. Gronk, upgrade there. And it seems to me, barring any breaking news, that all these guys are going to be back. And, they're just going to get better. So we'll have to see if the Bucs can go back-to-back with Brady. That'd be insane. Like, he just continues his tear. That'd be crazy. As for the Chiefs, they struggled. They couldn't protect Mahomes at all. There's a stat I saw that Mahomes ran 497, so just about 500 yards around in the backfield, trying to get away from a would-be sack. Getting away from a lot of them, throwing incomplete passes, but just getting hit every play. I think they had Um, let's see. Yeah, Mahomes was pressured on 29 of his 56 dropbacks. So over half of his total passing plays, he was pressured on the play. Most pressures in Super Bowl history. Their line couldn't block. He couldn't get any time. And that really added to his struggles, going 26 for 49. So, a little over half of his passes completed, 270 yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. The Chiefs offense only scored 3 field goals. That's all they could get out of their offensive possessions when their defense did stop the Patriots, the Buccaneers. Like I said, defense wins championships. I said it last week that whoever's defense steps up and makes stops is gonna win, and clearly, I thought it was gonna be a lot closer. I thought it was gonna be 31-34. I thought it was gonna be just a back and forth battle, but the Bucs defense didn't want that. They stopped them on every possession they could, and even when they got in the field goal range, still couldn't pull through with a touchdown. So I didn't get to watch the game. I unfortunately had to work, but I listened to it, checked on the score every now and again, and I just the time in the backfield for Mahomes was obviously a problem. I saw his crazy running around the backfield for like 8 seconds, 10 seconds, just to throw it out of bounds or something. It was just like basically right off snap, and they were in the backfield. So I know that Eric Fisher just got hurt just before the Super Bowl. Not just before, but like a couple weeks before the Super Bowl in the last game. I'm not sure who else on their line was hurt, but if I'm not mistaken, their line wasn't that bad all season. They beat the Bucs in the regular season, and I don't feel like Mahomes was, pressured and like hit that much. But like I said, the defense. It all comes down to the defense and the Buccaneers. Obviously, they have one of the best defenses in the league. And they showed it. Let me see. Kansas City Chiefs, where they lost. Or sacks. There is no defense. That's dumb. Why is there no defense? Well, that's stupid. I wanted to see how many... Oh, here, box score. I wanted to see how many times today. Man, look at this. The Chiefs scored 17 points in the first quarter of their first matchup. You got sacked twice. Sacked twice. Looks like about 2, 3, 4, 7 QB hits. So he got hit 9 times in that game. He got hit 29 times in the Super Bowl. So the pressure got to him. Like not the pressure of the Super Bowl, but literally the pressure of the defense got to him. He couldn't make the throws he wanted to. The Chiefs' offense, especially their big play offenses, are just big pass plays that need to develop. He needs 5 or 6 seconds in the pocket just for their receivers to break on their routes. So if he can't get that time, he's going to be rolling out, and the receivers are going to have to adjust, and the secondary is going to have to adjust with him, and Mahomes is going to have to do something superhuman, which he usually does, but he just couldn't seem to this game. The run game wasn't really there. Edwards-Helaire had 9 carries and 64 yards. Travis Kelce led the way in receiving with 10 catches and 133 yards. But yeah, the Bucs defense, their secondary, their D-line, their linebackers all played extremely well. Attacked the quarterback, attacked the receivers, and just didn't let them get an inch. The Bucs had two interceptions off of Mahomes, one from Winfield Jr. and one from Devin White to seal the game. And they had 3 sacks, 2 from Ndamukong Suh and 1 from Shaq Barrett. Brady, extremely well. 21 for 29, missed only 8 passes, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. You like 200 yards. Like, well, their defense just set them up in good field position every time. It's hard to get a lot of yards when you start with the ball on your own 40. Then you gain 40 yards and you score a touchdown. Or you maybe pass for 30 of them, 25 of them. So. But played extremely well. Only 8 incompletions. Through no turnovers. Through 3 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette had 89 yards on the ground and a touchdown on 16 carries. And to lead the way in receiving was Gronk with 67 yards on 6 catches and 2 touchdowns. And Antonio Brown also caught a touchdown and had 22 total yards receiving. Tom Brady won the MVP, which is his 5th Super Bowl MVP and his 7th Super Bowl win in his 10th appearance. I thought they maybe could have gave it to maybe Gronk. I saw Gronk had 2 touchdowns early, and I was like, oh, maybe Gronk's going to snatch the MVP away from Brady, but he didn't. Devin White had that interception. Maybe if he had another one and a few sacks, he might have won. But I think it was inevitable with Brady only missing 8 passes, throwing 3 touchdowns, and just picking apart the Kansas City defense. He definitely deserved that MVP. It should have been his 6th MVP. I think Deion Branch kind of yoinked an MVP from him because I looked up his MVPs, and Julian Edelman won MVP against the Falcons, which, fine, he had an insane game, 2 an insane catch to save the game, and he definitely deserved that MVP. But I looked at Deion Branch. I can't exactly remember if anything happened with Deion Branch in that game, but he only had 14 catches for 130 yards, no touchdowns, while Brady had 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. So maybe Deion Branch yoinked that one from him, but insane. 5th MVP, 7th Super Bowl win, and his 10th appearance. I wanna bring up this. Who posted it? Was it Adam Schefter? No. Well, maybe. Crap. Can't think of who it was, but basically, Tom Brady's had 3 Hall of Fame careers. He's the only player to win a Super Bowl in 3 decades. He's got more Super Bowl wins than any NFL franchise total. More Super Bowl MVPs than anybody. But yeah, I really want to see that graphic they put up. I don't think NFL would have posted it. But yeah. Well, enough about Brady. Well, maybe not, but yeah, Bucks. Bucks win their second Super Bowl, or is this their second Super Bowl? I think this might be their second Super Bowl. Okay, so yeah, that is their Buccaneers' only Super Bowl, was in 2002 until this year. And actually didn't make the playoffs since that Super Bowl win until 2007. So that's interesting. But yeah, Chiefs are going to definitely look to bounce back. This is just a really good defense, man. That's probably one of the best defenses that the Chiefs had to go through, for sure. You know, you look at it. They played who did they play? They played the Raven. No, who did they play? Who did they play in the second round? Because they played the Bills in the conference championship. Okay, okay, no, I was right. Okay, yeah. They beat the Browns in the divisional, and they beat the Bills in the conference championship. Okay, cool. Glad I recognize that. Okay, cool. So yeah, they beat the Browns, whose defense is meh. They beat the Bills, whose defense is eh. And then, you know, they had to play the Bucks, whose defense is one of the best. You know, you look through all these games that they played. I don't think any of these teams have top defenses besides the one Buccaneers game. Wow. Do the Chiefs have one of the easiest schedules ever? Look at this. Texans, Chargers, Ravens, Patriots, who suck this year, Raiders, who suck and they lost to them, the Bills, the Broncos suck, Jets suck, the Texans suck and the Chargers suck, the Ravens aren't very good, the Panthers suck, the Raiders suck, they beat the Bucks in week 12, the Broncos suck, the Dolphins are okay, the Saints are alright, they lost to the Chargers, who suck, which Patrick Mahomes didn't play in that one, so I'll give them that one. And the Falcons suck. They haven't really played anybody with a good defense. Anybody. None of these teams are top defenses in the league. I can guarantee you that. Let's see. Top defenses according to yards per game. We can do yards per game. That's fine. Buccaneers. And then the next is the Bills. Wait. Why does it say 2 games played? Oh, there we go. That was weird. Okay. Anyways. So. Total defense. Yards per game. Here we go. The Saints. 4th best. Fine. They played the Saints, what? Once? They played the Saints once. They won by 3. So, the Bucks, 5th best. I think we need to do points per game. Because I think points per game is better. The Ravens, technically, I guess, have the second best defense then. Saints and Dolphins, Patriots, Okay, I mean, I guess they're good defenses, but let's see. Raiders are the third worst defense. They play them twice. Texans are like the sixth worst defense. Jets are seventh. Broncos are eighth worst. They play the Broncos twice. They play the Raiders twice. And they play the Chargers twice, who is a bottom 10th worst defense in the league. Carolina's a fifth, like half worst, right in the middle of the pack. Everybody else is above halfway. But their entire division, the teams they play twice, are all bottom defenses. Raiders, third worst defense, they play them twice. Broncos, like seventh worst defense, they play them twice. Texans, fifth worst defense, they play them twice. So, or wait, is it the Texans they play twice? No, they don't play the Texans twice. They play the Chargers twice, who have a bottom half defense. So, they didn't really play great defenses at all during the season. And, you know, they beat the Bucs the first time by 3. And the Bucs wanted revenge. So, you know, obviously Brady's a GOAT. Will always be. I mean, obviously, unless Pat passes all his records, which is going to be hard, especially if Brady does play for 3 more years. But yeah, I think, wow, 22 minutes was good for the Super Bowl. I think we can finish it out with some NBA and then go on with some news at the end. All right, so our first day of games was the last Tuesday when I did the podcast 27. So last Tuesday, we had the Raptors beating the Magic, and Fred VanVleet dropped 54 on 11 for 14 and 3. So he is obviously the player of the day. That is the game of the day. For Tuesday, January 2nd. Or not. Wait. Okay, yeah. I meant February 2nd. I put January for all these dates, but I will change them all. Anyways, for February 2nd, Fred VanVleet, player of the day. Anyways, and then the Nets beat the Clippers by 4 on 39 from Kyrie, and Kawhi had 33 for the Clippers. The Pacers beat the Grizzlies off of 32 points and 13 rebounds from Domantas Sabonis. The Blazers beat the Wizards by 11. Damian Lillard had 32 points, and Bradley Beal had 37. The Utah Jazz continue to win, beating the Pistons on 32 points from Donovan Mitchell. The Celtics beat the Warriors by 4 on 27 points from Jason Tatum. And Curry did all he could with 38 points, but could not get the win. That was all for Tuesday. For Wednesday, the 3rd, the 76ers beat the Hornets as Joel Embiid scored 34 points and 11 rebounds. The Bucks beat the Pacers. Giannis had 21, 14, and 10. And Domantas Sabonis had 33 points. The Mavericks beat the Hawks 122-116 off of 27 points and 14 assists from Luka Doncic. And John Collins had 35 points for the Hawks. The Clippers beat the Cavs as Paul George scored 36 points on 8 for 9 3-point shooting. So good shooting from him. The Wizards beat the Heat by 3 off of 32 from Bradley Beal. I believe I made him the player of the day, because that was a big win for the Wizards. The Knicks beat the Bulls. Julius Randle had 27 points. The Thunder beat the Rockets in a very well-rounded game where Kenrick Williams was their leading scorer with 19 off the bench. He did not miss a single shot, actually. The Spurs beat the Timberwolves. DeRozan had 30 points. The Pelicans beat the Suns off of 28 points from Zion. And the Kings beat the Celtics by 5. De'Aaron Fox had 26 points and 11 assists. Trash game there for the Celtics. Jazz, moving on to Thursday the 4th. The Jazz win again. Jazz beat the Hawks by 21. And Jordan Clarkson had 23 points off the bench. The Warriors destroyed the Mavericks by 31 off of 40 points from Kelly Oubre, who is the player of the day for Thursday. 40 points for Kelly Oubre. Crazy game. The Blazers beat the Sixers with no Dame, no CJ, no Yusuf Nurkic. Off of 24 points from Gary Trent Jr. And Joel Embiid had 37. But I believe the next highest scorer was Tobias Harris with 12. So the Rockets beat the Grizzlies, and John Wall had 22 points. And the Lakers beat the Nuggets on a triple-double from LeBron, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. On Friday, the 5th, we have the Pelicans beating the Pacers by 1. Brandon Ingram had 30 points. The Magic beat the Bulls off of 43 points from Nick Vucevic. Also had 19 rebounds. He's the player of the day. I've been hearing some trade rumors that he might be going to Boston. That'd be insane. Nick Vucevic, one of my favorite centers in the league. Obviously, he's not Joel Embiid, Jokic, but I think he's a good combination of both, just at a lesser level. He can shoot. He's insane in the post. He can play make well, and he's a good defender. He's a very, very good player, and he needs to be on a contending team right now. And that contending team needs to be the Boston Celtics. Because we need him. We need Vucevic. Come on. Please. Come to Boston. I say that like I live in Boston. But yeah, 43 and 19 for Vucevic. Vucevic, he went crazy. He is the player of the day for Friday. The Raptors and Nets. The Raptors beat the Nets. Siakam had 33 points and 11 rebounds, and Kyle Lowry had 30 points. The Bucks beat the Cavs by 20 on 33 points and 12 rebounds from Giannis. The Jazz win again, this time by 27 against the Hornets. Bojan had 31 points. Donovan Mitchell had 30 points. And LaMelo Ball had 34 points for the Hornets in the loss. The Heat beat the Wizards by 20. Kendrick Nunn had 25. Bradley Beal struggled. He had 7 points, and he shot 1 for 14 from the field in that game. The Timberwolves beat the Thunder off of 24 points from Malik Beasley. The Suns beat the Pistons by 17. Booker had 23 points. And the Celtics beat the 76ers by 4 off of 34 points from Jason Tatum. Moving on to Saturday. The Knicks beat the Trailblazers by 11. Julius Randle had 22 points and 11 rebounds. The Kings beat the Nuggets by 5. Harrison Barnes. Nobody heard that. Harrison Barnes had 28 points. And even though Jokic had 50 points and 12 assists, it did not matter. Because the Kings still won by 5. The Bulls beat the Magic as Zach LaVine scored 39 points. The 76ers beat the Nets by 20 off of Embiid's 33. Sorry, just want to finish my drink. The Hawks beat the Raptors by 11. Somebody had 28 points and 13 assists. I'm guessing it was Trae Young, but I didn't write down who it was. So that's fun. Yes, Trae Young. I'm going to write that in there for the post pictures. Trae Young had 28 points and 13 assists. The Bucks beat the Cavs by 25, and Giannis had 24 points and 11 rebounds for the Bucks. The Spurs beat the Rockets by 5 off of 30 points from DeMar DeRozan. The Thunder beat the Timberwolves. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 31 points. And our game of the day, not the last game, but the game of the day was the Mavericks and the Warriors. As the Mavericks win by 2, Luka had 42 points and 11 assists, and Steph Curry had 57 points. 57 from Steph. Pelican, and they are going to be co-players of the day, Luka and Curry. The Pelicans beat the Grizzlies as Zion scores 29. And the Lakers beat the Pistons in double overtime. LeBron had 33 points and 11 assists. Anthony Davis had 30 points, and Jeremy Grant had 32 points. Going to Sunday, the 7th, the Jazz win again. Donovan Mitchell had 27 points and 11 assists. And before I move on, I do want to see how many games. So let's see. Since what? Since there, I guess. Since beating the Bucks on the 8th of January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They've won 15 out of 16 games since January 8th. They've lost one game out of their last 16. That was against the Nuggets on the 31st. And since then, they've won 4 in a row. They were on an 11-game win streak before that. They lost, and now they're back to winning 4 in a row. Insane. That's crazy. And the craziest part is they still have the same amount of wins as the Lakers. But yeah, so the Heat beat the Knicks by 6. Bam Adebayo had 24 points, 11 rebounds. The Hornets beat the Wizards. Terry Rozier had 26 points, and Bradley Beal had 31 for the Wizards. The Suns beat the Celtics by 9 off of Mikal Bridges, 19 points. And the Kings continue to win, beating the Clippers. They're on a 4-game win streak, including wins against the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Celtics. So the Kings are doing King stuff right now. And De'Aaron Fox at 36 points, who will be our player of the day for Sunday the 7th. And now for yesterday's games, Monday the 8th. The Hornets beat the Rockets off of 24 points and 10 assists from LaMelo Ball. He shot 7 for 12 from 3, and he only made threes. He shot 7 for 15 overall and made 3 free throws to put him to 24. The Wizards beat the Bulls off of Bradley Beal's 35. Zach LaVine also had 35 in that game. The Raptors beat the Grizzlies as Siakam and Van Vliet each have 32 points. The Mavericks beat the Timberwolves off of Kristaps Porzingis' 27 points, 13 rebounds, and Malik Beasley at 30 points for the Timberwolves. He's been playing really well lately. He regularly drops 25, 30 a game. So look out for Malik Beasley. Spurs and Warriors. Spurs beat the Warriors by 5. DeJounte Murray had 27 points and 10 rebounds, and Steph Curry had 32 points. The Suns beat the Cavs. Devin Booker had 36 points in that one. The Bucks beat the Nuggets off of 30 points from Giannis, and Jokic had 35 for the Nuggets. And the game of the day was our final game, the Lakers and Thunder, which went to overtime, and LeBron is our player of the day, scoring 28 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists. It's a good triple-double in the OT win for him. Catching up on standings a little bit for the East, the 76ers are on top, 17-7. The Bucks are close behind at 16-8. The Nets are 14-11. The Celtics are 12-10, and the Pacers round out the top 5 at 12-12. Hornets not close or not too far behind at 12-13. Hawks are 11-12, and the Raptors round out the 8 seed at 11-13. Teams missing the cut: Knicks at 9, Cavs at 10, Bulls at 11. Heat still struggling, down at 12. They're 9-14. The Magic are down there. The Wizards aren't in last place, and the Pistons are in dead last at 5-18. As for the Western Conference, it is being led by the Jazz on their 15 out of 16 game win month. The Lakers aren't too far behind at 19-6. Oh, the Jazz are 19-5. The Lakers are 19-6. Clippers 17-8 at 3. The Suns at 4 at 14-9. The Spurs at 5 at 14-10. The Blazers are 12-10 at 6. The Kings are at 7 at 12-11. And the Nuggets round out the 8 seed at also 12-11. Teams just missing out: Warriors at 9 are 12-12. The Rockets at 10. Grizzlies are struggling at 9-10 at the 11th spot. The Pelicans are 12 in the 12th spot. The Mavericks are struggling. They're 11-14 at the 13th spot. The Thunder are at the 14th spot, and the Timberwolves are dead last at 6-18. So I guess the Pistons are still the worst in the league at 5-18, but the Timberwolves are not too far behind. Yeah. So good NBA week there. Lots of crazy games. Jokic scoring 50, just doing what he does. In a loss. Curry also scoring 57 in a loss. Kelly Oubre had a really good game with 40, a light 40. Vooch had 43 and 19, as we said before. Honestly, it's hard to give out player of the weeks because there's a lot of games, Van Vliet probably averaged 25 this week, 30 maybe, because he had 54 in the first game of the week, and then he had 33 down here somewhere, and 30 in a different one. Dame played well this week. Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz played well this week. Steph Curry played well, even though they lost most of their games. Giannis always plays well. LeBron. Any of those guys are definitely deserving of Player of the Week. I don't give it out. I don't care to. I'll do Player of the Day. It's a lot easier. Just like who played, not necessarily who played the best that day, but what was the game of the day? What was the most fun player to watch drop however many points they dropped. So yeah, we're gonna move on to news. And we got a decent amount of NFL news with the awards coming out and the Hall of Fame stuff. We're going to save that because I just have two little things, one from NBA and one from baseball. So for the NBA is the Knicks acquired Derrick Rose from the Pistons for Dennis Smith Jr. and a pick. So Derrick Rose is going back to New York, round 2. They got Tom Thibodeau now, who coached Derrick Rose in Chicago. So yeah, we'll see. The Knicks aren't bad. The Knicks are not playing bad. They're the 9th seed right now, 11-14. They're starting Elfrid Payton, I think. So if they decide to bring in Derrick Rose to start, that's going to be a nice little team. Derrick Rose, and then you got like R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and a small forward. But Knicks aren't terrible. I think they might be able to sneak into the playoffs. Maybe. The Dodgers signed Trevor Bauer for 3 years, $102 million. He was one of the top free agents, if not the top free agent this year. Definitely the best pitcher in this free agent class. He was the National League Cy Young winner last year with a 1.7 ERA, and the defending champion Dodgers just get better in the pitching department. So look for them to attempt to go back-to-back this season. And that's all I'm going to say, because I have no idea. I don't know anything else about baseball. Does Clayton Kershaw still play? I don't know. Did he retire? I have no idea. Anyways, going to NFL, lots of stuff here. So, let's get into it. The Packers hired Joe Barry as their defensive coordinator. He was the Rams' assistant coach for the last 4 years and also coached in Washington as an assistant coach. So, good for him. Getting a job with the Packers, as obviously the Packers and Mike Pettine parted ways last week. Justin Herbert won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He completed 66.6% of his passes, 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Dang, almost beat Andrew Luck's rookie passing yard record. Andrew Luck threw for 4,374 yards. He was about 40 yards off. But he did break the record for most passing touchdowns as a rookie. Baker Mayfield had 27 in 2018, breaking the record, and Justin Herbert had 31. So he almost beat the passing yards record, but he did beat the passing touchdowns record. There's a lot of controversy between him and Justin Jefferson, whether or not which one deserved the award. I think they both deserved it. You know what I mean? Whoever won it, I would have been completely fine with. I don't think, any one player. I mean, it's hard. One player gets it. and you got two players breaking rookie records. So who are you going to give it to? Justin Jefferson broke the rookie receiving record. Okay, yeah, he did set the rookie receiving yard record with 1,379 receiving yards. Not the touchdown record. That is pretty much untouchable. Randy Moss had 17 touchdowns as a rookie, and I think Jefferson had 9 or 8. So, that's crazy. Randy Moss that's at least a touchdown a game and 1. So, that's insane. But yeah, I'd agree with either of them. I think they both definitely deserved it. And historically, it's going to be a quarterback. Most likely, it's most likely going to be a quarterback. So that's unfortunate for receivers and running backs and whatnot. But fortunately, most of the time, it is going to be a quarterback to win these awards. Just because they're the leader of the team, they put up the most stats, whatever. But I think Justin Jefferson definitely deserved a nod, for sure. Definitely he was a close second. The Bills assistant coach Brian Daboll wins Assistant Coach of the Year. I thought was expecting to get some head coaching interviews, but I don't think he did. And I think he's probably going to come back to the Bills. Let's get through the awards first, and then I'll go with Hall of Fame inductees. Or at least the ones I got down. I didn't write down the GMs and the head coaches that made it, but obviously there were some of those. The Aaron Donald wins Defensive Player of the Year. He joins Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt as the only players to win it 3 times. Only player to win it 3 times. Him, J.J. Watt, and Lawrence Taylor. This one is also very controversial. T.J. Watt had some words to say. I think Xavier Howard might have been a little pissed. But T.J. Watt beat Aaron Donald in every major statistical category there is for D linemen, besides forced fumbles. T.J. Watt had 2 forced fumbles, and Aaron Donald had 4. But tackles, sacks, tackles for loss, I can't anything like that. All those major statistical categories he beat Aaron Donald in. I mean, obviously, I think Aaron Donald is, a beast. Obviously. But, I don't know. I thought maybe TJ earned that a little bit more, but to each their own. Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. Threw for 71% completion, basically 4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Insane ratio there. He's always been super good at that, having just insane touchdown to interception ratios. That's one thing I will applaud him on. Also, his quarterback rating is usually very high. He had like a 120 or something this season. He had one game where his quarterback rating was below 90. One single game, and that was against, I can't remember who it was against, but he had like a 35. So any other game, he had more than a 90 quarterback rating, which is crazy. So good for him. Couldn't win the Super Bowl. Won the MVP though. Chase Young wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had 7.5 sacks, four forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 10 tackles for loss. Good there. I don't think there was really much arguing. Jeremy Chin had a good season. His name Kevin Curl. I can't remember his first name, but Curl for the Washington. Also with Chase Young, had a good season. Yeah. Derrick Henry was named Offensive Player of the Year. Kind of obvious. Could have been maybe Josh Allen or like Alvin Kamara or something like that, but 2,027 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns, averaged about 5.5 yards a carry. Just insane numbers. Insane numbers for Derrick Henry, and he definitely earned it. Sorry. Okay. Cleveland's Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year. Definitely well deserved. After taking this struggling Browns team under Freddie Kitchens and turning it around to go 11-5 and losing the divisional round against the Chiefs and beating the 5th team in the league, the Steelers. Really, man, the Browns never even been to a Super Bowl. That's tough. But yeah, really, let me see this. Yeah, they went 6-10 under Freddie Kitchens with a minus 58 point differential. And then this year they went 11-5, and they only had a minus 11. So it wasn't that bad. Man, the Browns are bad. I remember these days: 0-16, 1-15, 3-13, 3 different quarterbacks. Jesus, 2 different coaches. AV. Approximate value. Or attempt to touch a single number to every player. So it's just like the most valuable player on a team. Joe Schobert was the most valuable player on the Browns when they went 0-16. With Hugh Jackson as their coach. Just something I wanted to see there was their last season, but it was funny looking at them going 0-16. But hey, look at it. Look at them now. Losing in divisionals to the eventual runner-ups in the Super Bowl. So that's crazy. Alex Smith was named comeback player of the year after suffering a gross injury just under 2 years ago. Compromising his career, compromising his leg. Surgery took a bad turn, got infected, almost had to amputate his leg. Didn't. Goes through all this rehab for like 400 and some days or 500 and some days or something like that. And finally comes back and gets to play. He didn't play all the games or all the time, obviously. Didn't want to overwork his leg. But he played super well. And just for him to come back and play, he led his team to the playoffs. Almost won. He didn't play in that game, but they almost won against the Super Bowl champs. They were the team that gave the Bucs the biggest run for their money. Not the Saints, not the Packers, and not the Chiefs. The Washington football team gave the Bucs the run for their money. That's crazy. So that's definitely good for him. He definitely deserves that. And yeah. Josh Allen won Fantasy Player of the Year. Couldn't win Offensive Player of the Year or MVP. He'll have to settle for Fantasy Player of the Year this year. Hey, that's fire for next year, though. I think Josh Allen definitely was deserving. I think he was in talks for the MVP. And if he wasn't, that's robbery. The Cardinals' Hail Mary was named Play of the Year. And I don't disagree. That was insane. That was insanity. Russell Wilson wins Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I don't exactly know what he did, but he's just a good guy. Now we're going to get into Hall of Fame. So for the Hall of Fame this year, inductees Charles Woodson, Green Bay, Oakland, secondary guy, great career, and definitely deserves it. Calvin Johnson, elected to the Hall of Fame. Played his whole career in Detroit, wasted it all in Detroit. Arguably one of the best receivers, talent-wise. Obviously not. He never won a Super Bowl. He'd go to Pro Bowls, All-Pro, stuff like that. But being on the Lions, you know how it is. Alan Franeka, Pittsburgh legend at the O-line position. Helped them win Super Bowl and was a big key to that Pittsburgh offense. John Lynch, safety from Tampa Bay. A key role in that defense that brought him to a Super Bowl. He is now the general manager of the 49ers. He also played for the 49ers, I'm pretty sure. But he had his heyday in Tampa Bay, and he is now in the Hall of Fame. Peyton Manning from the Colts and the Broncos. Obviously won Super Bowl with each. And yeah, just one of the greatest. Definitely top 3. And if you don't think top 3, top 5, if you don't think top 5, then you're an idiot. But Peyton definitely revolutionized a pocket passing quarterback. He was the definition of that. In a world where the game was turning into a more running quarterback time, and if it wasn't for the neck surgery and all of that, I don't see why Peyton Manning wouldn't be playing today. I think he would probably have the same mentality as Tom. And yeah, but neck surgery kind of drove him away, and I understand that. I would be terrified to play football after having neck surgery. That would just be terrifying. So I understand. But an insane career. Much respect for Peyton. And Drew Pearson, wide receiver from Dallas, snubbed last year. Was made the all-decade team for the 70s. And he was the only all-decade player from that team to not make the Hall of Fame last year. So pretty disrespectful last year, but he made it this year. So congrats to him. That's sick. And then there were some GMs, coaches, maybe some other lineman guys that I just didn't put up because they weren't headline news and I just didn't see it. So I will put a picture behind me for the YouTube video of probably all the Hall of Fame inductees this year. And I'll probably show a couple people I didn't mention. So congrats to them. Just a couple more things here. The Vikings promoted Clint Kubiak to their offensive coordinator. And yes, that is the son of Gary Kubiak. He spent the last few years as a Vikings front office guy. And now he will be there. He was the Vikings, one of the Vikings quarterback coaches, I believe. Now he's the offensive coordinator after his father retired. And former legendary head coach Marty Schottenheimer passed away today. Last night. Somewhere around last night and this morning. He passed away. He had 21 seasons as a head coach in anywhere from Kansas City. Wow, I just blanked every single team. I think. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Marty Schottenheimer. You're God, though. 8th in all-time wins. And just a legend. Just a legend in the coaching world in the NFL. And he will be missed for sure. Well, that's going to do it for the podcast this week. Pretty good time there. Look at that. I mean, I'm getting better at this timing thing. Basically at an hour. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. Just be sure to like and subscribe, download on Spotify. It costs nothing. It's free. Helps me out a ton and gets my name out there and whatnot. Share it with your friends, family who love sports and want to see the come up. So yeah, thanks all again for watching, and everybody take it easy. Peace.